The wrong idea that people have about open relationship is that it's going to cause more jealousy. But in fact, the opposite happens. Are you ready to learn why? Hello and welcome back to our podcast, Great Relationships University on open relationships. My name is Ron, if you haven't met me already, and this is my artificial intelligence. I'm the human biological intelligence, while this is my artificial intelligence, Alex. Alex, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alex, your artificial intelligence co-host. I'm thrilled to be here today with Roan John. Roan is the head trainer and founder of Great Relationships University, which you can find at www.greatrelationshipsu.com. That's you as in the letter U.com. He owns the #1 Tantra therapy in the U.S., if not the world. Since 2010, Roan has been a dating coach and has transitioned into a dating and relationships consultant. Before owning the #1 Tantra therapy in the world, he was a renowned professional dominatrix. Roan, it's great to have you here.
I really appreciate that introduction, Alex. So I'm going to have Alex actually prompt me on, Alex, let me ask you this question. What is one important idea that we can teach someone who is exploring open relationships? What might they have questions about that's pertinent and important to them, so we can talk about it on today's podcast?
One important idea to discuss is how to handle jealousy in open relationships. Many people have questions about managing their emotions and ensuring their relationship remains healthy and supportive despite natural feelings of jealousy. How can someone explore open relationships while addressing and managing jealousy effectively?
Okay, so let me answer that in this way. A lot of people imagine that you fix and cure jealousy by having one monogamous partner, by being in a monogamous relationship. And actually, you'll have more jealousy in an open relationship, or if you have multiple partners, you'll have more jealousy. Isn't that what you think? A lot of people think that. Virtually everybody thinks that, because most people don't understand two things. They don't understand jealousy, what jealousy is, and they don't understand open relationships and what open relationships is about, which is why we exist, don't we, Alex? So let me answer that question. #1 first, you have to know what jealousy is. Jealousy is a compound emotion, not a primary emotion, not one emotion. Jealousy is actually the compounded emotion of #1, fear of loss, and #2, the pain and the rage you feel from that fear of loss. When you combine those two, you have something called jealousy. Jealousy, remember, is different from envy. Envy is someone having something you don't and the pain you feel from that. Jealousy is the fear of loss compounded with rage. And you might not imagine it as rage, but they're microaggression, so to speak. And in that, how does that show up in relationships? How do you know you're feeling jealousy in a relationship? Well, if you observe in yourself or from your partner or partners, their behavioral change is negative towards you because of fear of loss and the pain that they feel. When they have that idea that they might lose you for whatever reason, they have competition or whatever, that jealousy ensues. That's how you know you have jealousy. So the misconstruction, the misperception, the wrong idea that people have about open relationship is that it's going to cause more jealousy. But in fact, the opposite happens. Are you ready to learn why? The opposite happens when you enter into an open relationship where you have more relationships with more people. Here's why. Because biologically, we biological humans, are not monogamous by nature. We did not evolve to be monogamous. We did not adapt as
here to seek variety and connection. In an open relationship, the opportunity to connect with multiple partners can actually reduce the exclusivity pressure that often leads to jealousy in monogamous relationships. When the fear of losing a partner to someone else is lessened, the compounded emotion of jealousy is also mitigated. Additionally, open relationships prioritize open communication and transparency. This means that partners are encouraged to express their feelings and insecurities honestly, which helps address jealousy before it becomes a larger issue. By discussing boundaries and expectations openly, partners can build a stronger foundation of trust and understanding. Moreover, in an open relationship, there is a greater emphasis on self-awareness and emotional management. Partners learn to recognize their own triggers and work through them constructively. This process of self-growth and mutual support can significantly diminish the intensity and frequency of jealous feelings. So, contrary to popular belief, open relationships, when approached with the right mindset and tools, can actually foster an environment where jealousy is less prevalent and more manageable. Roan, how do you guide your clients to navigate and overcome jealousy in their open relationships?
All right, let me answer that. But I'm going to point out what you just talked about there. That was really smart. Jealousy in relationships, people imagine when you have more relationships, you'll feel more jealous, which is why logically people think that in monogamous relationships, you'll feel less jealousy. But we humans did not evolve to be monogamous. So biologically, we cannot be monogamous. We can only be monogamous by choice. And that choice of monogamy is respected. I allow people to be themselves. I'm not trying to control anybody. I'm not trying to persuade anybody that to have open relationships. I'm merely enlightening you on the thing which causes you pain because you're buying into ideas in which you've inherited rather than critically inspected and applied to your life through critical reasoning, critical thinking. And so this is what I provide you, enlightenment through critical thinking. I provide you ideas so that you can critically think about the things that you do. One of which that causes people a lot of pain because I do not critically reason it out through the scientific method is relationships. So since we did not evolve to be monogamous, but we propagate this idea that we should be monogamous, which originally was founded so to control people. Marriage is not about love, has never been about love. Only very recently was it not arranged and presumed to be about love. But people only marry presumably about love, but not really, because of tradition. Only reason people marry is tradition. In fact, you can love somebody regardless of whether you get married or not. Did you catch that? So in an open relationship, what happens is, why is it, let me ask you this, well, let me point this out, frame it in this way. Why is it that in open relationship, you have less jealousy or you manage jealousy better in an open relationship? Here's why. You ready? The reason why jealousy is less prevalent and more managed and better controlled and better appreciated and less harmful in a relationship, in an open relationship, than a monogamous or closed or even a polyamorous relationship, is because an open relationship is founded on 3 principles, which we covered in the previous video. Unconditional love. You're going into an open relationship, communicating with your beloved. This relationship is not about not making commitments. In fact, we make a lot of commitments. We make commitments by merely talking about them. So that's a misconstruction. That's a bad belief about relationships. And also, jealousy is managed because unconditional love is the very premise and foundation of our relationship. In fact, the only reason we're together is because we love each other. We love being around each other. We want to be with one another, regardless of any social contracts or legal contracts like a marriage contract. We can make a marriage contract if we wanted, but we don't need it. We merely need it for appeasing society or for legal purposes, for whatever that reason is. But fundamentally, our relationship merely exists because of our love for one another. And that unconditional love is defined in very specifically our genuine desire and wanting for our beloved's happiness, well-being, and actualization. Meaning that in the same way that I want for my happiness and actualization, getting what I want, pursuing the things and people and activities and goals that I want that for you. In fact, regardless of whether I'm involved, I love you. Therefore, whatever you want to pursue, whatever makes you feel fulfilled, I want that for you. You want to hang out with somebody who you like, admire, and adore, and cherish, and is your best friend, or is one of your best friend, or is a dear, dear friend of yours, whether something sexual happens or it's completely platonic, it doesn't matter. If it makes you happy, feel fulfilled, and actualized, I want that for you. How can I help? So now let me go over why and how that takes care of jealousy. That takes care of jealousy because in an open relationship, it's presumed to be about the love for one another and jealousy not being a part of it. And the opposite is true with all closed relationships. Did you catch that? All closed relationships are based not on the premise of love. All closed relationships are based on the premise of possessiveness, property, and ownership. In other words, it's conditional love. In other words, I will love you only and so long as you are exclusive to me, whether exclusive to us in a polyamorous relationship or exclusive to me in a monogamous relationship. When you are no longer exclusive to me, I cannot love you. And that's why jealousy is a part of it. Now, when you have your biological drive of being you, be non-judgmentally accepting, this is why non-judgmental acceptance can't exist in a closed relationship. When you cannot be you with your own human particular desires, you have to act in a way that you imagine your partner wants you to be. It is now a performative relationship. You have to perform and pretend to be the person that you imagine your partner wants you to be. Is that clear? Now, Alex, I would like you to summarize what we just talked about and close out this podcast.
In this episode, we discussed how open relationships manage jealousy more effectively than monogamous relationships by focusing on 3 key principles: unconditional love, non-judgmental acceptance, and open communication. Unconditional love means wanting your partner's happiness and fulfillment just as much as your own. Non-judgmental acceptance involves embracing your partner's individuality and desires without judgment. Open communication encourages honest dialogue about feelings, boundaries, and needs, fostering trust and understanding. By integrating these principles, open relationships create a supportive environment where jealousy is less prevalent and more manageable, leading to healthier and more fulfilling partnerships. Thank you for joining us today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. Visit www.greatrelationshipsyou.com for additional resources. See you next time.
Bye.